All right, so we're back. We're here in another live hangout. I'm Dana Ryan from danaryan.tv, and I am here with Amy, Dreamflight 6000. Say hi, Amy.
Hello, everybody.
And I'm also here with Sarah from Finding My Mommy Way. Sarah is a YTMM member as well as a two-time camper at CoLab Camp. So Sarah, go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
So if you are here in the chat and you're watching us, please let us know if you can hear all of us. That would be much appreciated. And we are back with more hangouts, but we're going to talk about back to school tonight. And first, let's just talk about how many kids we have and which grades they're going into. So Sarah, let's start with you.
Yes, well, I'm quick. I just have one. He just turned 3, and we just started preschool.
Perfect. Okay. Amy?
Did you say your channel name, Sarah? Oh, I think Dana did, but it's Finding My Mommy Way. I missed it. But thank you, Amy, for the plug. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm Amy, Dreamflight 6000, and I have 3 boys. My oldest is 7. He is in 2nd grade. And my middle child is 5, Evan, and he is in preschool. And then I have Charlie. He's not in school yet. He is 2.
Okay, perfect. And I have 4 children. My oldest is 8, and she is starting 3rd grade this year. And then I have twin boys, and they started kindergarten this year. Yay! And I also have a 2-year-old who is not in school. So, yeah. So we're going to answer questions. We asked the YouTube Mommy Meetup Facebook group to leave questions, ask us what you would like us to address specifically about back to school. And so we have a whole list of questions. So we're just going to go through those questions from top to bottom. And Amy, I believe you have them up, so you can go ahead.
I am ready to go.
All right. And
the first question. Oops.
I was going to say, I see lots of people in the chat already. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Yay! So go ahead. Ask the first question.
Okay. The first question is from Cara Collecting Memories, and she asks, what are your best time savers to make school mornings stress-free?
Okay. Time savers for school mornings. So I'm going to take a pass on this because I'm not home in the morning. I'm at work. I leave really early in the morning, and Jim actually, he does all of the morning.
Jim? Tell Jim, come on over.
I've enjoyed it. But what are your time savers? Sarah, how's it going with preschool in the morning? How you?
It goes well because SP gets up at 5:30 every day, so we have plenty of time. We have to leave by 7 to get to school by 8. But one thing that works in our favor is that he wears uniforms, so we don't have an argument over I want to wear this t-shirt over that. Is required to wear this color shirt with this color pants. So that's a time saver for us. I also make, if I can make breakfast in a half an hour or under, I will make it in the morning. If I can't, like a muffin or something like that, I will make it ahead and freeze it and then thaw it out overnight and have it ready to go. So
that's a good tip, thawing it out in the morning. Yeah. How about you, Amy?
Well, my number one tip is to get up earlier. And if I get up a half hour earlier before the kids, it's just so much better. But I just can't get myself to do that. The 2 times I did, things went smoothly. And packing lunches the night before. It's a huge time saver. Getting everything packed up, sandwiches made. I even put their water in the water jug and their milk, whatever they need. Everything is ready to go. And I put the bags by the doors, so everything is where it needs to be.
Great. Okay. I see a tip here from Brittany sharing our life in the chat. She said, have clothes picked out for the entire week ahead of time. Saves a bunch of time. So
see, my boys don't care. They'll go put anything on. They do not question. They just don't even care. Our weather changes so often. There's no way. It does. Well, yeah, you're by me. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way we could lay it out, but we could change it so rapidly.
Okay.
This is my 3rd outfit today.
Amy.
Yeah, Minnesota's crazy weather-wise.
It's not cold already there, is it?
Yeah, it was 60 this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Evan had pants and a jacket. Yeah, and then we switched we had pants and jackets, and then we switched to, I had a long sleeve shirt and short sleeve. Yay.
We're still like in the 90s here in
Really?
Pennsylvania.
Oh my God.
I see Nicole, a day with NJ in the chat. She says, backpacks ready to go the night before. Yep,
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay, what's the next question?
The next question's from you.
Oh,
Ms.
from me.
Dandelion. Yes.
I didn't want to forget.
Do you and your husband go to back to school night, or just one of you? What is it like?
Yep. Yeah, I really wanted to know this from other people, whether or not I was like, because Jim and I always go together. We always both go if we can find a sitter to back to school night. But there's a lot of parents there where there's just one parent, I noticed, and some people don't even go. We were at like a group of tables of desks when we went to back to school night. There was 5 desks there, and only 2 of the kids' parents were there. The other 3 didn't go. So I don't know, but Jim and I always go together to back to school night unless for some reason we can't find anybody to watch the kids. So I think it's nice for both of us to go and hear, what the teacher has to say. But what about you? What do you do?
Our whole family goes.
Your whole family goes. The kids too?
Everybody. We don't have anybody to watch the kids, so we're...
Okay. All right.
It's all of us or none of us.
Are they good for you when you go, or are there other kids there? Does your school frown upon it, or are they like accepting?
No, other kids, they're fine.
Okay.
They're fine.
That's good.
Ours is actually during the day.
Okay.
So we just, if my husband's available, he comes over, and then he comes with us.
Okay. So, sounds like you all go. I see Southern Mom says, I try to both go. I always go, but depends on if Rudy can get off in time. So, yeah. Looks like Sarah, Sensational Finds, I skipped back to school night tonight. No kids allowed, so we missed it. Okay, maybe that's why a lot of people do miss it. That could be it.
No kids allowed? Like no kids at all?
Ours does that too.
See, we don't have that. Ours is more like meet the teacher, see the classroom. We don't have like just a parents thing.
Well, she lives near me, and we're the same at our school. They say like we strongly, encourage, that this is adults only, or some kind of language like that is written on it, that they only want adults to come to the back to school night. Yeah.
Oh, weird. Interesting. Never heard of that.
People bring their kids, like babies, but usually there's no kids there that are students. So
do you have another day then where they meet the teacher and see the classroom?
That's, no, they don't. Not in 3rd grade. They meet their teacher at school, first day.
Oh.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh.
But for kindergarten, they do. They had like an orientation where the kids came to meet the teacher and go into the classroom for kindergarten. But after that, there's no more. It's just, you just go in and find your room and meet your teacher. So, yeah. I see Mommy. I have like half my chat hidden here. Tired Mommy Tale says ours is for the whole family. We'd be in trouble if not. Yeah, it's hard when you can't bring the kids if you don't have a sitter. It's true. Okay, next question. Yeah.
All right. This is from Kristen, Southern Mom. She asked, any back to school traditions, things you do each year?
Good question, Sarah. I see you nodding your head.
You started your traditions.
I have my props behind me. So I have our first day of school sign, and I figured my best shot at having him hold this the longest amount of years is to make it as plain as possible. And then I have the last day of school.
And is that a chalkboard? It's chalkboard on there, and do you write?
Yeah.
What do you write?
So I just write preschool.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do that in front of his school. I don't do it. I don't know where I'm going to do it, in front of my building, or when you live in a condo, you don't have a tree to stand in front. So I just do it in front of the school, and then we read books the day before. So the night before in his story time, we read all of his back to school and back to preschool books, and the day of, do the photo after school. Then I take him out for lunch. Recap the day. For Mark.
Good.
And we do the little you have the little folders where it's have his picture and then a handprint and my favorite color is yeah, do that. Yeah, that's it.
How about you, Amy?
Not really, just the picture. We take a picture in front of our door. That's all we do.
I like it. I wish I could get my act together, but I didn't this year. But I like it when people do like the sign that says, I'm third grade. I want to be a, doctor when I get older. I think that's cool when you do that every year.
Yeah, like my favorite color.
Yeah. I like the career part of it, like what they want to be every year and how that would change. I think that would be really cool if I guess it's only a couple weeks in. I guess I could still do that.
It's not wrap that up real quick.
Yeah. They'll never know it wasn't the first day.
They won't worry about that.
And then the picture, of course, I love the picture. So, looks like in the chat they're loving your book idea, Sarah. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a career yearbook. Somebody said.
I read tonight, the Berenstein Bears Back to School. That was cute.
Yeah, that one's really cute.
I love them. Is it Berenstein or Berenstein? I always say
Berenstein.
Me too, but I think that's wrong.
Berenstein Bears? Around this neck of the woods, we all say Berenstein.
I think it's Berenstein too, but I think I heard like an interview like on TV and it was Berenstein, and I was like, oh, I've been saying it wrong.
I don't think so. I do watch the Sprout channel. They have Berenstein Bears on TV.
Okay.
Coming up next, Berenstein Bears. I would have noticed if they said Berenstein Bears.
Okay. I was thinking I was wrong, but
I don't know, but yeah, they have like a TV show of it.
Okay, next question.
All right, this is from A Day with NJ, another camper. She said, homework, like it or hate it? When, right after school or after dinner? And how much does a parent help? That's a loaded question.
That's $1 million question right there.
We do it right after school, right when they get home. Like, well, they have a snack. So, right, they get a snack. So, like a half an hour after school, but before dinner. Because I think that after dinner, it gets too crazy with bath time. And so I like it when it's like a half an hour after they get home from school.
See, I'm opposite.
You are?
That.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like they need time my kids need time to play and unwind after being at school all day because they don't get home till 4 o'clock. So they play, they eat, and then homework. Okay.
I see. Let me see.
SP doesn't have homework yet.
No. Not yet.
Sanella
she says, like it or hate it.
Says right after school. Looks like that's what Sanella says. And Brittany, Sharing Our Life, says she hates it. We do it once they get home, but he hates doing it.
I hate homework too. I'm always like, do you have homework? No. Yes. Then we just all like cheer.
Yeah. Well, they have a book that they have like a planner. They have a planner at school. They have to write their homework in, and we have to sign it every day.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we know if they have homework or not, because that's like, I think when they get to school, that's the first thing they do is they're supposed to write down the homework that's that night, and then they put it in their planner. So it helps you know what's going on. But yeah, I like to do it right after school, pretty soon after school, because otherwise it just there's too much screaming in the house later on. So,
all these things to look forward to.
Yes. But luckily there's no homework in kindergarten for us. There's very minimal homework in kindergarten because that's like a fight to get that done if you have a kindergartner with homework. So.
Well, it's such a long day anyway if they're going full day.
It is.
That is just exhausting, and then there's more homework on top of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we were in the charter school and then we switched back to public. The charter school in kindergarten, they had homework every night, an hour of homework every single night. And that was too much. I just couldn't handle the amount of homework they had. And when we switched to public, it was like, there was like barely any homework. And we were like, woohoo! It just was such a huge difference. I don't know what that says, good or bad, public versus charter school, but it was so much better at public school, so much less homework than there was I just couldn't handle all that homework for a kindergartner. Like an hour every night, that's way
They're
too
at
much.
school all day long.
Yeah.
I just don't. I mean, do they need to come home and do homework
Right.
when they're 5 years old?
Right. Well, it was
They're 5 years old.
torturous for like the parents. It's
Yes.
like we're doing the homework with them, but we have to sit down and get them to
First
do
of all, you're
it.
fighting about homework. You're
Mhm.
fighting about getting it done, and then you sit down
Right.
and you're fighting about how it's getting done.
Yes.
I wonder how much they're really retaining of that information for an hour. They're so over school.
Yeah.
And it's such a fight that
I agree.
it's really a bonus to anybody.
Yeah. Oh, Sandy, the PJ mommy, Sandy, she said that they had reading as homework in kindergarten. So that's a good. I think that's a good homework. That's
And Sandy's homeschooling this year.
Mhm.
That's what I heard.
Go Sandy.
Yeah. So she's the teacher.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Are we ready to move
Yeah.
on?
Go ahead.
Okay. Amber's family of 4. She said, "What is your favorite thing about the kids going back to school?" She said, "My kids cost me more during the summer because they eat me out of the house. So I'm all for having them back in school. So that's my favorite thing."
I read that and I totally agree with eating you out of house and home over the summer. We went through so much food over the summer. It was too much. And yeah, I like that they don't eat as much because, well, they still eat, right? But they're just not eating this food at school. So,
Well, like when you're home, they're bored. What do you
it's more
eat?
food
Snack.
consumption
Yeah.
in the summer. But my
Keep them
favorite,
more busy at school so they don't eat as much.
right? Yep. But I think my favorite thing is just less wear and tear on my house. And then I think that they're happier actually when they're in school because their minds are a lot more engaged. So it's hard to pick one thing. What's your most favorite thing, Sarah, about school?
Of the past 2 weeks is really just watching him develop and become this little man in a sense. Seeing him grow with friendships and we're not too far in this journey. So I may say the food in a year, but right now it's just seeing him become a little man and all these awesome relationships he's developing and this knowledge that he's gaining.
How about you, Amy?
I just like the routine. I like having, and my kids, our entire family does well with routine, and it's good for us.
Yeah. Nicole, a day with NJ, said exactly the same thing. Getting back into a routine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good. Okay.
All right. Moving on. We have a lot here. We've got a lot of good questions. All right. This is from Orly C. She said, "As soon as the kids are at school and you're driving back home or to work, what is the first thing you have to do?" For me, seeing my son started kindergarten and her 2-year-old started in daycare, I bought the biggest ice cream to celebrate because I didn't have to share it or clean it up from one of the kids spilling.
That's so great. I can just picture her eating the ice cream cone. That's so funny. Wow. What would you say to that, Sarah?
The first day of school, I stuck around at the school building. It was a rough day, but the second day, I had breakfast, which I had not had a warm breakfast in a really long time.
That's fun.
So, yeah, I just went out to eat and I need to rest and let myself.
Yep. Well, I worked from home that day and the first day of school. And after we got them there to school, I kind of had Jim was home too. He took off that day and I came in the house and I just was I just was breathing. I just was, because the house was quiet. It was weird, even though we still had, the baby here, it just was it was so weird not having everybody in the house, because this is now 3 of them are at school as opposed to before the boys were always, in the house pretty much. So it was, I guess I just was breathing in the silence. It was very kind of bizarre actually that they were not there, so I don't know. How about you, Amy?
I don't know. I still have Charlie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then with Henry needing nurse care at school, I was on the phone all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just didn't really.
You were busy.
Nothing exciting over here.
Nothing different.
Yeah. But the day Charlie goes to preschool, I'm going to do what you did, Sarah. Get a hot breakfast. That sounds so fun.
Hot meal.
I'm going to Perkins and get pancakes, get it all.
As long as you want.
A 2.5-hour breakfast.
No one else's food.
I see a nap is Sanella said a nap and made myself breakfast.
That's good too.
Okay.
You can just stay in your pajamas.
Yes, just stay in your pajamas. Or change back into them after you get home. Oh, after bawling in the car. Yeah. It's sad too. Yeah.
That first day was rough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The separation is difficult. You just are so worried for them and you want everything to be okay, and just, the whole first week I was kind of on edge. I just felt like I couldn't really relax because I was nervous.
All right. Okay, so the next one is from Tired Mommy Tales. And she said, do you have your kids? Oh, this is similar to just exactly the same. Do your kids have homework? Do your kids have homework every night? If so, what does that schedule look like when they get home? So we answered the second part of the question, but the first part of the question is, do you have homework every night?
Well, they're supposed to read every night for 20 minutes. But it's like if you can only do it for 5 minutes one night, you could do more the next night. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like they have a reading log. So that's every night.
Is too. Yeah. We do the exact same thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And SP doesn't have homework.
No, but I do some work at home with him. So we have a syllabus from the preschool teacher of what they're doing, and then I'll do complimentary work at home with him.
Oh, I see. Monique.
Mandated.
Count your blessings, Monique says, reading every night as well. Yes. Okay.
Must be a nationwide thing.
Yes.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Uh-huh.
This is from Eat, Pray, Crunch. And Amanda said, any tips for helping young kiddos transition to preschool and being in a school setting for the first time?
Sarah, this is all you.
This is all you. We're looking right at you.
All right. So what really helped, and I have been to a couple of seminars on this, webinars, so I would definitely recommend checking out Jeannie Hayward of 12 Wings. She does some free online seminars about this. But it has been recommended, and what works for us is that you, prior to starting preschool, go over with your child what will take place, that he or she will be in a new school and they'll make new friends and a new teacher, and mommy will bring you there, or daddy will come over and drop you off, and I will come back. Mommy always comes back. Daddy always comes back. They will come and get you. If they need to have a luggage with them in their backpack, they can. They have to set expectations out of their backpack, but as long as they know that they have it, it's pretty comforting for them. And then a quick goodbye. So, mommy loves you. You're going to have a great day. Mommy will be back at the end of class. And then quick kiss, hug, off you go. And that's where we didn't have a rough first day. We had a really rough second day. And that's what we did. And it has gotten much better as we've gone along. Going well around, so.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
That's good. How about you, Amy? How do you prepare Evan?
I didn't. He's got a big brother.
Okay.
They don't care. They just run off. They never look back. They don't care if I'm going to come back.
I'm sure they know.
Okay.
I actually don't even walk Evan into school. I just pull up and he just actually gets out of the car and goes into school.
Okay. That's awesome. That's really a blessing in your life that he's just totally fine with going and you didn't have to do much prep for it. It's
Henry
really
was
good.
the same. Our kids just don't. I don't know.
Okay.
Charlie is going to be different, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't have any advice. We kind of did the same thing. We just sort of went and we just, it's just been sort of fly by the seat of our pants. We probably could have used some prep, but we just sort of were like, it's time. Well, I guess just like getting the stuff, like getting the school supplies and getting like all, being positive and excited and making it seem like it's going to be a really well, it should be a fun thing, really. But it's not like you're pretending, but just sort of trying to stay positive about it is a good way. So, okay, what's the next question?
All right, life and beauty with Dawn. She said, when do you start school in your district? A lot of people started super early. We didn't start until the day after Labor Day. What about you guys?
We start, we're in a private school, so I don't know what Chicago Public School calendar is, but we start late August and we go until the snow days just before Memorial Day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow, Tired Mommy Tail said our first day was August 3rd.
That's crazy to me.
That is nuts.
That's early.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like we got 22nd, 15th, mid-August, just started this week. So it looks like everybody's kind of, I think we're in...
Then when do they get out with the early August start?
Yeah, that August 5th start. Good question. When do they get out? Yeah, because usually they get out earlier. Like we start end of August and then they get out early June, which is nice. Because then we have all of June for the summer.
See, we start late, so we go to like June 11th
here it is.
or whatever.
May 19th to 20ish.
Wow.
So end of May. That's pretty cool to get out then. Wow. Or bad, depending on how you look at it. I don't know. I guess we have like days built in case it snows, so I don't know. You probably do too. Yeah, both of you with where you live. So they get out later if it's snowing, obviously. We get a lot of snow days, obviously. So starting earlier helps with that because then they don't get out so late if we have a lot of snow days. Yep, that's what Brittany says. Hers get out first week of June, depending on snow days. Yep. Monique has hurricane days in Florida. Count your blessings, 7/12. Yep, hurricane days. That's pretty wild. I never thought about that. Yeah, I guess they have to. Okay. All right. Next question. Sorry, I'm getting too wrapped up in the chat.
It's Abby and Baby. She said, how long does it take to get your kids ready in the morning? How early do they have to get up, and how do you adjust them to the new schedule?
I think start early, right? Start the schedule early before school starts, getting in that pattern of going to bed early and waking up early.
Yeah, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ahead. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have a problem as he gets up at 5:30 every day of the year. It doesn't matter what it is. But just trying to get him familiar with the dressing to be ready by 7 o'clock. To be out in the car by 7 o'clock. We started that a couple weeks early.
Yeah. And I think morning routine, keep it consistent. Try not to put the TV on, things like that. Just kind of help to, be very regimented in that routine and, move
that is
along.
The first thing they do. We turn the TV on. But they get up at 6 o'clock. So.
Yeah. Well, we were having trouble when we had the TV on is that the boys didn't want to leave, because they were involved, they wanted to stay. It was too fun at home, so to speak. And then they were having, fits about getting on the bus. They didn't want to go. They were saying, I don't want to go to school. And then when we stopped that, absolutely no TV in the morning, it made it a lot smoother in the morning as far as them going. Because then I was like, we have to make it really boring at home so they want to go.
Cool.
Right, make it boring at home.
My boys, they watch TV and then I take a shower during that time and I get ready and do stuff then. But yeah.
Brittany, Sharing Our Life, says the same thing. We don't allow TV because they want to play games and they're having too much fun. I lost it and moved up too fast. Okay, but same thing. Okay, next question.
All right, from Being Subtle, she said, best tips for getting the kids into a routine after summer break. So we kind of talked about this, about starting a week or two early with the schedule. And anything else to add, anyone?
No, I'm just reading comments. Wake up at 6:30, out the door at 7:40.
See, our school doesn't start till 9:30, so it's kind of
that is so late. That's late.
Yeah.
Huh.
But then they go to school; they're there till 4, so it's just kind of I don't like the hours.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any more questions? We're coming up on our 30-minute time mark.
There's a lot of questions still. Well, here. Oh, no, 2. Okay. We have like 5 questions left. Okay. So Victoria Pottle said, how do you handle a child who is upset about going back to school?
That's a good
I've never
question.
had a problem, so I don't know.
Well, we had a sort of problem with Crank. He had a huge meltdown about getting on the bus. He didn't want to go one morning, and he got to school, and he was really upset. He actually kicked the principal and was really upset. And they had to put him in the guidance counselor's room and talk to him about it, like wait for him to calm down. And I would say if you have a child that really doesn't want to go, your school, like our school district, it was amazing. They were incredible. And I was so emotional about it because the principal, they called me 3 times that day and they were talking to me about, what could be done, what techniques we could do to help him. She had like a private conversation with him later after you calmed down. The social worker called me. They were going to come to the house in the morning to talk to him, to help him.
Wow.
So they got really involved. So if you have a child that really you're having a lot of trouble with in the morning, your school might have services that will, they'll come to your house and help you. Our school, they said, they do, I really do believe it. They said we work as a team, all of us, to try to help, make everything good. So if you're, sort of having difficulty, and then what we did was we put together like a bus chart in the morning where if he goes and gets on the bus, every day he goes, we check it off, and at the end of the week, he gets a little prize, like a little toy, at the end of the week. So every day we check off the day, and if he gets on the bus every day, he'll get a little Shopkins at the end of the week.
Is that for everybody? Like, how does that work?
It's for the boys, for both of them. So because we
Okay.
couldn't do it for one and not the other. So every day I get home and I said, did you get on the bus? And then if they say yes, then I check off the box. And then it also helps them to know like a calendar as far as how many more days of school there are. Because then I'll say, all right, two more days to go, and then you'll get your, they can visually see it in the box that they just have 2 more days to go until they get to the end where they get their prize. And it's kind of like bribery, but it's been working. And so it's positive reinforcement, like, if you do that, then we're going to give you this little, so any little technique you can try. But if none of that is working, then your school might be able to help you out with some ideas. And so it's hard, though. It's just really tough when you have a child that is, upset and crying and doesn't want to go, and, you have to get them there to school, but it's difficult. So ask your school for help.
Victoria also asked, kind of what we talked about before, what time does the school day start and end for your kids? For Noah, the bus comes at 7:30 and drops him off at 2:30. And he's in 1st grade. I can't believe Noah's in 1st grade. What time do your kids get on the bus, Dana?
8 o'clock. Yeah.
And they get home
at 3:30.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah, what time does SB have to be at school?
We need to be there at 8. It takes us about an hour to get there, so we have to leave at
An hour?
Girl, Chicago traffic.
Oh my gosh, an
I
hour.
live about 2 miles from the school. It takes us about an hour to get there.
Wow.
So he is there until just checking in.
Okay.
I see a lot of 7:30 to 3:45, 7:45 to 2:45. Mom, wife, loving life says mine is 9:30, but I have to drive 40 minutes to get there. Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I feel your pain.
So is it only 2 miles and it takes you're just sitting in traffic? Wow.
Can't you walk it?
I can walk it and take the CTA and drive all those choices in an hour.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
but if it's not rush hour, it takes me about 15, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Wow.
Okay.
Okay. We have 3 more questions. I think we can do this, guys. All right. The next question is from Parenting Plus More. How do you prioritize schoolwork and housework with your kids? What do you find to be the most helpful?
Well, schoolwork is first, and then housework. I've been really bad at following through with that with the kids, with getting them to do that. So we have like a chore chart. some weeks I'm good, other weeks I'm not. And I need to be more consistent with it. I realize I really do. So, but am I answering that question right? So homework is first, and then it would be their chores or their commissions, but I haven't been doing well with that. So I need to do better. Thank you for the reminder. This is a good reminder. How about you? Do you prioritize one or the other, Amy?
I don't know. We don't have a lot of homework. He's in 2nd grade, and he doesn't really have homework much. We had one little sheet that took 2 seconds, but
I think as they get older, it'll be more of an issue.
Yeah, but for me, housework is always because if my house is not in order, I'm a mess. I'm not in order, so my house has to be in order. So
right. That's why I'm glad you don't live too close, because my house is not in order, and you'd come over here.
It wouldn't bother me if your house is out of order. It's my own house, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, maybe I do want you to live near me. You can come over and help, get it in ship-shape order. Okay, and then, all right, so what's the next question?
The next question is from Patricia. How do you handle your child's shortcomings? Doesn't perform well educationally, or maybe misses assignments, doesn't participate in class, etc.?
That's a good question.
It's a good question.
I can't think of anything. Yeah. I think just encouragement, I guess, and letting them know that I don't know. Little D's so good academically. She's in 3rd grade. She's been really good academically, so we haven't had to think about that at all. And I feel like that we've been lucky with that. But physically, like with activities, she always needs a lot of encouragement. She's not the best with that, so we practice. I don't know. It's a good question. How do you deal with it? I think just as long as, again, I guess I'd reach out to the school to try to ask them what they. I'm always what do they think we could do as a family to help them to do better?
I think it's a lot of communication with you and your child, with the school, with the teacher, all kind of coming together to make your child as successful as possible.
Yeah, Brittany says, talk with the teacher and guidance counselor about the issues. Most schools have extra ways to help kids. Yes. Mm-hmm.
They do. The schools now, they do a really good job, a lot of the schools.
And I think you also have to be realistic on what your child's shortcomings are. It seems like, now I've just gotten into this whole school situation, but it seems like sometimes parents don't want to really acknowledge some of the shortcomings of their children.
Yeah. Tolerance, too, that they might, they are who they are, not necessarily who you think they should be.
I can tell you FP's shortcomings in a heart. He's lazy. I already know these. And so we have to combat them.
He's 3.
Yes, but he's been lazy since he's like 6 months old.
Oh my gosh. That is
his
so funny.
pediatrician calls it a problem solving. I call it. But
oh my gosh.
Just being realistic and what it is.
Okay. Great points in the chat I'm seeing. Yeah. Pray with your child. Talk with the teacher. Okay. All right. Then we
have one last question.
Yeah, go for it. What is it?
All right. This is from Sarah Joy, 88. She said, did you send your kids to preschool? Sarah did.
We did briefly. I think maybe total was 6 months for the boys. But does that count? Little D was in full-time daycare from 3 months of age till 4 years. So I guess that counts. I don't know. And then she took a break. And you are Amy, right? Yep.
Yeah, all my kids will be or went to preschool or are in preschool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wondered if it makes a big difference. I think it's good for them if you can do it, to have that. I always call it institutionalized. They get institutionalized from it a little bit, as well as the academic a little bit, but they get used to walking in a line, they get used to the environment of other children, and I think it does give them an advantage if they've had a little bit of preschool, just because of the, getting used to being away from home and away from mommy and daddy, so, yeah.
And in Minnesota, I'm guessing eventually down years from now, I bet preschool will become mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Well, look at this. Don't say hurry. Our district has free pre-K.
Oh, no way.
That's nice. I think I definitely agree. I wish that was everywhere. I think that should be.
Henry is in 2nd grade, but he went 2 years ago in kindergarten. Was the first year that they had full day kindergarten paid in Minnesota. So things are definitely changing.
Yeah, and Nicole, A Day with NJ, says around here we have free 4K. Is that pre-K? 4K. I've never heard 4K.
See, it seems like people in the northern states call it 4K because somebody else was calling it 4K.
Instead of preschool, you mean? They say 4K?
Yeah, it's like 4K. It's like preschools for 3 and then 4K is for kindergarten.
Okay.
That's a term I have not heard before.
No, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, me neither. Nicole says it's 4-year-old kindergarten. It makes perfect sense, Nicole. Yeah, 4K. Yeah. I haven't heard that before,
though. Is out here by us. I don't know.
Yeah, what's that about, Amy? You're missing out on free
Wisconsin.
4K.
She's in Wisconsin. Must be a Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. All right. Well, that was what time is it? Okay, so that was our last question from the Facebook group, right? So,
yeah.
I'm surprised no one asked about lunches.
Oh, there was one question about lunches, wasn't there?
Any lunches.
There was.
I thought I was. Yeah.
I think you skipped that one.
I did.
I'm telling you, there was a lunch question. I swear I saw one in there.
Let me go and check.
I promise I didn't delete it, even though I don't like talking about lunches because I'm not good at them.
Maybe you start that on this.
Do you see it?
Oh, there is one.
I did miss it.
I told you. I missed it.
Amy, you answer that. I'm not good at lunches.
Maureen. Okay. Maureen said, I need lunch ideas. I have a picky eater who can't have nuts or dairy. I'm so sorry I missed your question. Oh.
Well,
I blame it on Dana deleting
right.
it.
I did not. Do not say that. I did not delete. I didn't delete it. We have a picky eater too, and we just pack the same thing every single day. The same thing every day because we know that he'll eat it. So, I don't know. And then, I don't know, little D eats apples for lunch and that's it. Like we pack other things and that's it. She just eats apples. And then we're like, what about your other food? Oh, I didn't have time to eat it. And then she comes home and eats like a voracious animal, eating up everything in the house. But she doesn't eat it at school. She just eats her apples.
Does she get for lunch? Because I've been hearing that they don't have a huge amount of time.
15 minutes at our school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a good one.
And if they're talking, especially if they're girls and they're just like, they just don't eat. They're, because they're busy talking. So, I don't know. So I didn't help there. Amy, do you have tips for you don't have picky eaters?
I don't have picky. My kids eat anything.
Yeah, you're just good. You're good at I like your bento boxes. I love those videos.
Thank you. Yes. I just filmed everyone this week. So next week, Dream Plate 6000. I have a lunch videos.
I almost wonder if having your child help you in the kitchen might make them find more foods that they like. So if they want to help pack a lunch or maybe help with dinner.
That's a good tip, Sarah. Really good. Yeah.
It's hard with not nut-free. That's tough because a lot of kids, you can fill them up with, crackers and peanut butter.
Okay. There is one website I was looking at today because SP starts a lunch thing next week. It's 100 Days of Real Food.
Wow.
And they have school lunches in it, and so that had some really great ideas. So I would check it out for inspiration. There's also a service in Chicago that will pack the lunches for you.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
I know too.
Where do they go? They just you go and pick them up?
No, they deliver them to you. So they
deliver the lunches to you.
Packed is one.
I love Chicago.
I need to start up my own little business here in Minnesota. I pack kids.
You could do that, Amy. You could do that business. You're so good at it. Good at lunches.
So you could do that, or you could do Nutri-Life, and that is a weekly subscription.
Oh my gosh.
5 or 10 meals. Yeah.
Nutri-System? It sounds like a weight loss thing.
Yeah, Nutri.
Okay. Okay.
Not Nutrisystem, Nutra. Yeah, let's just make sure we clarify that for the podcast listeners.
So if you're like, I'm done, you can use the subscription service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if they're a picky eater, they might not eat it. That's the thing. Yeah, that's why I say if you know there's stuff that they will eat, I mean, pack that for sure, and then maybe, try to get them in the kitchen with you to try other things. Sometimes maybe when they're watching their friends eat things too, I try to say that, like, oh, what was your friend eating today? And then sometimes that might make them be encouraged to eat different things. If their friend is eating something, they might want to try it.
And I don't know if to make it look cute. Like, I like to roll, like, you take a cheese stick, you roll it in ham, and then you can cut it into little circles.
Oh, that's so cute. See, that's nice.
Cute. It's kind of fun.
That's a good idea. Yeah, if you know the moms.
My kids just take them all apart and, make a mess of it. They eat it.
Yeah. Our school district has like a Facebook group for the moms in that area. And then, so maybe, if you know who they're friends with, you can say, hey, what are you packing for, little Joey? And then maybe you could pack something similar and that might help them eat. You know what I mean? If they're eating the same thing, I feel like they get excited if they have the same thing as their friends. I don't know anybody named Joey, just, I think that's a cute girl's name, though. I was going to name one of my girls that, but I didn't. I love Joey.
Same with Charlie. I think Charlie would be such a cute girl's name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do too. Okay. All right. So, great. All right. So this was awesome, really, to be back. It's really fun to be back doing live. I think we should still call them Hangouts, because we're hanging out. So we're,
What else would you call them?
Well, since Hangouts are sort of, dead, it's YouTube Live. It's YouTube Live events. So it's, but I still like calling them Hangouts because we're hanging out. So,
it is.
But thanks to everybody. You guys are awesome in the chat. Thank you for joining us as we come back to live events. It's been really cool.
And telling them that they can join next time.
Yes, yeah. So make sure you join the Facebook group, YouTube Mommy Meetup. And that's where we'll put the call for people to enter their name to join us here like Sarah did. And then we do a random drawing and you can join us live in the next Hangout or live event. And then in 2 weeks, there's actually going to be blogging events, part of the Blogging Mommy Meetup group, which is the sister group to YouTube Mommy Meetup. And we're going to talk about your blog and how to grow your blog and blog techniques. So I'm going to do that with Crystal from Brought to You by Mom. So her and I are going to be doing that. So there'll be Hangouts or live events bi-weekly. And so next month is when Amy and I will be back for the YouTube Mommy Meetup one. Right, Amy? Yep.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So, but you'll find all that information and the events if you go to the YouTube Mommy Meetup Facebook group. And yeah, be sure to subscribe if it's your first time here on the channel, and we'll catch you guys live in the next event. So thank you, Sarah. Again, tell everybody where they can go to find you and your channel.
Sarah with Finding My Mommy Way. Thank you for having me. It's nice to see you again.
Yes, always a pleasure. Yes. And then Amy, where can people go to find you?
Dreamflight 6000.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere except Snapchat. I cannot figure that out. That's just a little too confusing for me.
You don't need Snapchat anymore. They have Instagram.
It's for the young. I feel like you got to be young. I'm too old for it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And you can find me at Miss Dana Ryan everywhere. That's MSDANARYAN.